Hello everyone, Digi here, and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Category Cavalcade. For today's archetype, I'm gonna go with one that I feel like is one of those underrated ones that I feel like should have more love from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan base, and that would be Crystal Beasts. Crystal Beasts are an archetype full of monsters that are in various attributes, and for the most part have names based out of a crystal mineral of some kind. They were first introduced in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pack Force of the Breaker, and support for this archetype was added in the following packs: Duelist Pack Jesse Anderson, Tactical Evolution, and Phantom Darkness, along with these packs in the TCG and OCG respectively. Anyway, they were also used by Jesse Anderson in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, hence the Duelist Pack. All of the main ones, the ones that actually have Crystal Beast in their name, have one effect in common. When they're destroyed either by battle or card effect, they go to the spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. This is for various effects of cards that you can use throughout the duel. A big one everyone remembers involves summoning certain dragons, also known as the Ultimate Crystals. But more on that later. While they have lower attack and defense points, they also have unique effects that come in handy. There's also the Advanced Crystal Beasts, which the first two cards, Rainbow Dark Dragon and the field spell Advanced Dark, are introduced in the packs Phantom Darkness and Return of the Duelist. The whole archetype would later get introduced in the following packs: Animation Chronicle 2022 for the OCG, and Battles of Legend Crystal Revenge for the TCG. They were also used by Jesse Anderson, but when he was under the possession of Yubel in Season 3 of the series. Their playing style is similar to their original counterparts, but they have that one drawback that they're relying on the field spell, and if that field spell were to ever be removed from the field, all Advanced Crystal Beasts go to the graveyard, which, by the way, it reminds me of two other archetypes that have that similar drawback. But I'll get to that later. Anywho, let's get into the cards.
Crystal Beast Ember Mammoth. When another Crystal Beast monster you control is targeted for an attack, you can change the attack target to this card. If this face-up card is destroyed in a monster zone, you can place it face-up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, instead of sending it to the GY.
Okay, after this card, I'm not going to have Zarvax repeat the last card's effect because it's just the same old being placed in the spell and trap zone when being destroyed. Anyway, I never really used this card's first effect that often because I use it and other Crystal Beast monsters for extra deck plays. But in general, I can see this card being used to save your other Crystal Beast monsters from being popped in battle. When using it, I recommend using some effect to allow it to not to be destroyed in battle. And also, since this effect is not once per turn, yeah, you can use it more than once.
Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat. This card can attack your opponent directly, but when it uses this effect, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is halved.
This card's effect sounds cool if you wanted to deal some damage to your opponent, but it's really not that helpful unless if you have cards that can have effects go off when the monster attacked the opponent directly, which sadly, as of this video, I haven't seen any cards that can do that, besides from one archetype.
Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle. Once per turn, you can target one Crystal Beast card you control. Place that target on top of the deck.
With this card's effect, it is really handy if you wanted to replace one of the Crystal Beast monsters in your spell trap zone. Personally, I haven't used it a whole lot, but in general, it is still handy.
Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. When this card is summoned, you can place one Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or die, face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell.
This card I feel like is the playmaker of the archetype, if you will, just due to the effect of placing one Crystal Beast monster onto your spell and trap zone. It's handy for the other plays you can do later on in the duel. Also, I find it ironic that even though that this thing is called Sapphire Pegasus, it looks more like a Sapphire Alicorn than anything due to the horn it has.
Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. When this card is special summoned, you can special summon as many Crystal Beast monster cards as possible from your spell and trap zones.
This card feels like the second playmaker of the archetype just due to the effect of summoning the other Crystal Beast monsters from the spell and trap zones. There's even some cards within this archetype that can be able to summon this little critter. And also, yes, I can see this little fella looking like a rejected evolution.
Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise. Once per turn, you can target one monster you control that attacked this turn. Change that target to defense position.
I can see this effect coming in handy for protecting your life points after the battle phase. Like if your monster has a stronger defense, but you want to attack with them for their effect or something. I would also say it's a cool effect to use it on itself after it attacks. But with only 800 attack points, it probably wouldn't be wise to attack with it in the first place, unless the opponent is wide open.
Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger. If this card attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 400 attack during the damage step only.
I don't know what else to say about Topaz Tiger other than that 1, I do like the blades that come out of this tiger, and 2, the gain attack effect is handy to take out a monster that might be stronger than it, but in not every battle phase situation since monsters might still have the attack points to beat over this thing.
Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. You can only use each of the following effects of Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon once per turn. When an attack is declared involving a Crystal Beast monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish this card, treat it as a continuous spell, special summon one level 4 or lower Crystal Beast monster from your deck, but negate its effects, and if you do, add one ultimate crystal monster from your deck to your hand.
First off, I find it odd that being placed in the spell trap zone when being destroyed is at the beginning of the effect text, since every Crystal Beast monster I talked about so far have that part last. I imagine it's something related to problem-solving card text, which Wildcard can nag me about that later. Second, I do like this card's other effects. Special summoning itself from hand and banishing itself from the spell and trap zone to special summon another Crystal Beast monster, while also fetching a copy of one of the 2 Rainbow Dragons to your hand. Very handy effects if you ask me.
Crystal Master. Pendulum Effect. Your opponent cannot target ultimate crystal monsters or Crystal Beast cards you control with card effects. Monster Effect. You can tribute this card. Add one ultimate crystal monster, Crystal Beast monster, or crystal spell/trap from your deck to your hand.
One of the only 2 Pendulum monster cards of this archetype that don't have Beast in its name. This monster is about what you expect for a typical support card way after the original archetype's release. It's pretty basic, but still comes in handy sometimes.
Crystal Keeper. Pendulum Effect. Each turn, the first time an ultimate crystal monster or monsters and/or Crystal Beast card or cards you control would be destroyed by card effect that turn, it is not destroyed. Monster Effect. If a Crystal Beast monster you control battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, quick effect, you can tribute this card from your hand or face-up field. Your battling monsters at /death become double its original at /death during that damage calculation only, but it is destroyed at the end of this damage step.
And this is clearly the other Pendulum monster for this archetype. Its battle phase effect is cool to use sometimes, but it's one of those deals that I wouldn't use a lot. Plus, I don't like the idea that the Crystal Beast monster would just blow itself up after the damage step. I can kind of see why it does, considering it would gain a ton of attack and defense points, but still, I feel like this monster tributing itself would be enough. Its Pendulum effect, on the other hand, is pretty handy for protection against destruction effects like Raigeki and Dark Hole.
Rainbow Dragon. Hey, wait a minute. Didn't we do this card already?
Yes, but for some weird reason, Konami not only made 1, but 4 other versions of Rainbow Dragon. These are called the Ultimate Crystals. Now, keep reading.
This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card. Cannot be normal summoned/set. Must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names in your field and/or GUI. This card cannot activate the following effects the turn it is special summoned. Quick effect. You can send all Crystal Beast monsters you control to the GY. This card gains 1000 ADK for each monster sent to the GY. You can banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your GY. Shuffle all cards in the field into the deck.
I can see why there is some balance with this card. The two effects it has are potential game winners when using them in the right conditions. The first effect, I can see you sacrificing the other monsters to try to wipe out the rest of your opponent's life points in one swoop, assuming if they don't have protection. And the second effect of trying to get rid of all cards on the field, although at the cost of getting rid of every Crystal Beast monster in your grave and maybe field, along with itself, is definitely something you should think of the strategy before executing it. Also, the special summon restriction is fine in my opinion.
Advanced Crystal Beast Ember Mammoth. If Advanced Dark is not in a field zone, send this monster to the GY. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets your Advanced Crystal Beast card or cards or Advanced Dark, quick effect, you can negate the activation. Once per turn, when your Advanced Crystal Beast monster is targeted for an attack, you can negate that attack.
I'll go into more detail about Advanced Dark later, and just like the Spell and Trap Zone part, I'm not going to have Zarvox keep repeating it along with the particular effect from these Advanced Crystal Beasts, because they're essentially like their uncorrupted counterparts, but with just one more effect on top of it. Anyway, for the negation effect this card has, it's actually kind of cool. I would have personally have it to be an Omni negate, but hey, it's better than nothing.
Advanced Crystal Beast Cobalt Eagle. You can send this card from your hand or field to the GY. Add one Advanced Dark from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can target one Advanced Crystal Beast card you control, return it to the hand, or place it on top of the deck.
I like the idea that you can discard this card to fetch the field spell these guys desperately need. I do recommend doing it mostly from the hand, so that way you can have good advantage.
Advanced Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus. If this card is summoned, you can place one of your Advanced Crystal Beast monsters that is banished, or in your hand, deck, or die, face up in your Spell and Trap Zone as a continuous spell.
Not really much to say with this one, because this card just has the same effect as its counterpart, but only aiming it for its other brethren, and you can fetch one of them from banishment.
Advanced Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. While this card is treated as a continuous spell, you can special summon this card. Then you can special summon as many Advanced Crystal Beast monster cards as possible from your Spell and Trap Zones. You can only use this effect on Advanced Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle once per turn.
Pretty much the same effect as its counterpart, but it is interesting though that you can only do it while it's in the Spell and Trap Zone, and sadly you can only summon its own brethren.
Advanced Crystal Beast Amethyst Cat. Your Advanced Crystal Beast monsters can attack directly, but when they do so using this effect, the battle damage inflicted to your opponent is halved.
It is interesting that instead of just itself attacking, all of the monsters within its own brethren can able to attack directly. Granted, the opponent only takes half battle damage, but it's still pretty cool regardless.
Advanced Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one face-up monster in the field, change its battle position.
I could see with this monster's effect that you can use it to stop an opponent's attack on one of your monsters, or even though that monster would be destroyed, for the most part, you don't take any damage.
Advanced Crystal Beast Topaz Tiger. All Advanced Crystal Beast monsters you control gain 400 attack and defense. Also monsters your opponent controls lose 400 attack and defense.
My feelings for the advanced counterpart of Topaz Tiger is the same as the original counterpart, but admittedly it is handy that it can lower the attack and defense points of your opponent's monsters.
Rainbow Dark Dragon.
Or a certain bird in someone else's series likes to say,
The extremely edgy Rainbow Dragon cannot be normal summoned / set. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing 7 dark monsters with different names from your GY. You can banish all other dark monsters from your field and GY. This card gains 500 attack points for each card banished this way.
It's kinda sad that this version of Rainbow Dragon doesn't have a shuffling effect, unlike its light counterpart, but it is cool that it still keeps the attack boost effect.
Rainbow Over Dragon 7 Crystal Beast Monsters. This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card. Must be either fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing one level 10 ultimate crystal monster. Once per turn, you can banish 1 crystal beast monster from your GY. This card gains attack equal to the banished monsters until the end of this turn. Quick effect, you can tribute this fusion summon card. Shuffle all cards in the field into the deck.
First off, the best way this card can be fusion summoned outside of tributing one of the 2 main deck Rainbow Dragons are those cards that can banish monsters from hand, deck, and graveyard. In my opinion, the best place to banish those monsters are from the deck. Other than that, it has similar effects as its main deck counterpart. Only difference is banishing 1 Crystal Beast monster from grave instead of sending all Crystal Beast monsters you control to the grave. And you'll have to tribute itself rather than banishing all Crystal Beast monsters from grave to shuffle cards on the field into the deck.
Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon Overdrive. 1 Ultimate Crystal Monster plus 7 Crystal Beast monsters must be special summoned from your extra deck. During a duel you special summon an Ultimate Crystal Monster by banishing the above monsters from your field and or GY. While 7 or more of your Crystal Beast monsters with different names are banished, this card gains 7,000 attack. If this card has not battled this turn, quick effect, you can tribute this card. Shuffle as many cards in the field as possible into the deck, and if you do, special summon any number of your banished Crystal Beast monsters.
This card is better than its other fusion counterpart as it can have more attack points than it, and when you tribute itself, you can bring forth a full board of Crystal Beast monsters.
Crystal Bond. Add 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and place 1 Crystal Beast monster with a different name from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. You can only activate 1 Crystal Bond per turn.
This is one of those cards I think you should add in a Crystal Beast deck because not only fetching 1 Crystal Beast monster, but also placing 1 in your spell and trap zone on top of that. The Crystal Beast monster that I recommend you should place in the ST zone is Ruby Carbuncle.
Crystal Blessing. Target up to 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your GY. Place those targets face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells.
If you manage to have some Crystal Beast monsters in your graveyard, using this card is really handy to place 2 of them in your spell and trap zone for possible further plays.
Crystal Beacon. Special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You must have 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone to activate and to resolve this effect.
It kinda sucks that you'll need to have at least 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell trap zone to activate this card, but I honestly don't find it as such a big deal. Like I recommended before, bring forth Ruby Carbuncle from your deck to use its effect, to bring forth the other Crystal Beast monsters to your field for further plays.
Crystal Promise. Target 1 Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone. Special summon that target.
Another useful card to bring forth another Crystal Beast monster. Definitely a recommendation for your deck.
Ancient City Rainbow Ruins. You must have this many Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone to activate and to resolve these effects. Question mark 1 plus this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Question mark 2 plus once per turn, including the opponents, you can have the battle damage you take. Question mark 3 plus when a spell/trap card is activated, you can send 1 Crystal Beast monster you control to the GY, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Question mark 4 plus once per turn, during your main phase, you can draw 1 card. 5. Once per turn, during your main phase, you can target one Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone. Special summon that target.
Not gonna lie, this field spell is interesting, that it has various effects based on how many Crystal Beast monsters you have in your spell and trap zone. All the effects for this card are pretty decent to say the least. I also like this card's artwork, where the ancient city looks something in the lines like an ancient civilization used to be there before eventual annihilation from some unknown cause.
Crystal Aegis. Target one Crystal Beast monster card you control. Destroy it. Then special summon one Crystal Beast token with the destroyed monster's original type, attribute, level, and @/death. If a Crystal Beast card or cards is placed in your spell and trap zone, while this card is in your GY, even during the damage step, you can banish this card. Special summon one Crystal Beast monster card from your spell and trap zone. You can only use this effect of Crystal Aegis once per turn.
I like how with this one, it's essentially creating a clone of the destroyed Crystal Beast monster, but without retaining their effects, which is really stupid if you ask me, but whatever. And the second effect is a good deal of allowing you to bring in a Crystal Beast monster from the ST zone. One thing I should mention is the card's artwork. I know it's Cobalt Eagle, but the way how the pose is reminds me of the TriStar logo, but replacing the Pegasus with a bird.
Crystal Abundance. Send 4 Crystal Beast cards from your spell and trap zone to the GY. Send as many cards in the field as possible to the GY. Then special summon as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your GY, up to the number of cards sent from your opponent's field to the GY by this card's effect.
I find it funny that this card is one of those where it's essentially kind of a board wipe before filling your board with Crystal Beasts. I would recommend saving this for when your opponent seems to have the upper hand, because the more cards they have on the field, the more Crystal Beasts you can summon back.
Crystal Release. Equip only to a Crystal Beast monster. It gains 800 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the GY, you can place one Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell.
I don't use this card that much, but I guess it's better to equip this card to Topaz Tiger as it has an attack boost effect. And that last effect is just the usual Crystal Beast to ST zone deal, and I still think it's kinda cool.
Crystal Tree. Each time a Crystal Beast monster or monsters is placed in either player's spell and trap zone, place one crystal counter in this card. You can send this card to the GY. Take a number of Crystal Beast monsters from your deck equal to the number of crystal counters that were on this card, and place them face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells.
For this card, I would have had a limit on how many crystal counters it would have. I would say either 4 or 5, because I don't think it was that necessary to have more than 5, and well, for the fact you can only place up to 5 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell trap zone.
Rare value. If you control 2 or more Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap zone, your opponent chooses one Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap zone. You send it to the GY, and if you do, you draw 2 cards.
I think for the minimum of 2 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell and trap zone to activate this card makes sense, as it makes the opponent choose which one of them goes into the grave. It's alright for the most part, as you'll just get 2 new cards into your hand at the end of the day.
Golden Rule. This card is always treated as a crystal card. Place 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells. Then special summon one Crystal Beast monster from your hand or GY with a different name than those cards, and if you do, equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. You can only activate 1 Golden Rule per turn.
I do think the idea of this card allowing you to place 2 Crystal Beast monsters onto your spell trap zone is pretty neat, along with bringing forth 1 to your field, potentially doing some great plays with it.
Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Crystal Beast monster, in addition to your normal summon/set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. You can only use each of the following effects of Rainbow Bridge of the Heart once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy one Crystal Beast card you control or in your hand, and if you do, add one Crystal Spell/Trap from your deck to your hand. If a Crystal Beast card or cards is placed in your spell and trap zone, even during the damage step, you can target one card your opponent controls, return both that card and this card to the hand.
For the first effect of this card, while I do think Ultimate Offering is somewhat the better choice for this, I guess using this as a backup is fine. I do like the idea of adding this Crystal Spell Trap card to your hand, and I do like the idea of returning an opponent's card to the hand, albeit at the cost of sending this card to your hand as well, but I do believe you can just always place it back onto the field.
Rainbow Refraction. If a monster or monsters you control whose original name is Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon activated its effect this turn, special summon any number of Crystal Beast monsters with different names from your deck.
While this card's requirement is sort of equivalent to triple tactics talent and thrust, it is a pretty cool card to use to swarm the field with Crystal Beasts.
Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. Reveal one ultimate crystal monster in your hand, then activate one of these effects. If you control an ultimate crystal monster, you can activate one or two of these effects in sequence instead, and do not have to reveal a monster. Take one Rainbow Bridge card or one Rainbow Refraction from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the GY. Special summon one Crystal Beast monster card from your hand, deck, GY, or spell and trap zone. You can only activate one Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates per turn.
As for the first effect of this card, I rather prefer to add it to my hand, and I do like the effect of bringing forth the Crystal Beast monster.
Rainbow Bridge. Add one Crystal Spell/Trap from your deck to your hand.
Just a simple spell and or trap searcher. I like that.
Advanced Dark. All Crystal Beast monsters in the field and in the GY become dark. If an ultimate crystal monster attacks, negate the effects of the attack target during that battle phase. During damage calculation, if a Crystal Beast monster you control battles and you would take damage, you can send one Crystal Beast monster from your deck to the GY. You take no battle damage from that battle.
This card reminds me of Lair of Darkness in the way that it turns monsters into dark attribute only. Difference is that this card only goes after Crystal Beast monsters both on the field and the graveyard, while Lair of Darkness affects only the field. Also, Advanced Dark doesn't allow you to tribute in an opponent's monster for some effect. As for this card's two other effects, I think they're pretty cool bonuses.
Crystal Conclave. Once per turn, if a face-up Crystal Beast monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Crystal Beast monster from your deck. You can send this face-up card from the field to the GY, then target one Crystal Beast card you control and one card in the field, return them to the hand. You cannot activate these effects in the same chain.
First off, whenever I think of the name Conclave, I think of the Enclave from Fallout. Why? Well, it's just only the name that gets me. Second, the effects of this card are pretty cool. The first one I do like when you need a backup Crystal Beast, and the second effect I like that it's a field removal to get rid of one card your opponent controls, even though you'll have to return one Crystal Beast card you control in the process.
Crystal Boon. Special summon up to 2 Crystal Beast monster cards from your spell and trap zone, and if you do, gain LP equal to their combined original attack. If a Crystal Beast card, S, is placed in your spell and trap zone, while this card is in your GY, even during the damage step, you can banish this card, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is a Crystal Beast monster, either add it to your hand or special summon it. Otherwise, send that card to the GY. You can only use this effect of Crystal Boon once per turn.
The first effect of this card is pretty sweet, allowing special summoning up to 2 Crystal Beast monsters from your spell trap zone, along with gaining life points on top of that. The second effect, however, feels like a gamble. So I wouldn't really recommend this card, but I do respect those players that maybe wanted to use it.
Crystal Brilliance. You can only control 1 Crystal Brilliance. Each Crystal Beast monster you control gains attack equal to its original defense. If a Crystal Beast card or cards is placed in your spell and trap zone, even during the damage step, you can send this face-up card to the GY special summon 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand or GY. Also, any damage you take this turn is halved.
The first effect of this card is great to use, mostly within the battle phase. And for the second effect, while its condition I'm not a fan of, it's good to use to not only bring forth another Crystal Beast monster, but possibly to save your ass on top of that because of the half damage bonus.
Crystal Miracle. When a spell/trap card or monster effect is activated, destroy 1 Crystal Beast card you control, and if you do, negate that activation, and if you do that, destroy that card. If a Crystal Beast card or cards is placed in your spell and trap zone, while this card is in your GY, even during the damage step, you can banish this card. Place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your hand, deck, or GY, face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. You can only use this effect of Crystal Miracle once per turn.
I would have personally used this card for the negation effect more than the second effect. While it is nice that you can have an extra card that would allow you to place 1 more Crystal Beast monster in your spell trap zone, I would have had the effect either be like a spell card, or just get rid of that condition in order to activate it.
Crystal Rageki. Send 1 Crystal Beast card from your spell and trap zone to the GY, then target 1 card your opponent controls. Destroy that target.
While there are cards in the game that can wipe out monsters better than this card, I do think this card is actually good to add in a deck, especially if you wanted to get rid of 1 Crystal Beast in your spell and trap zone.
Crystal Pair. When a Crystal Beast monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the GY, place 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone as a continuous spell, and if you do, you take no battle damage for the rest of this turn.
Pretty cool card, but I personally wouldn't add it into the deck because of how situational it is, given that this card only works when the Crystal Beast is sent to your graveyard. Your best options of using this card would be either when your back row is already full, or while you're going for Rainbow Dark Dragon.
Counter Gem. Send all cards in your spell and trap zone to the GY. Place as many Crystal Beast monsters as possible from your GY face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells. During the end phase of this turn, destroy all Crystal Beast cards you control.
For this card, I recommend not using it until you got the right cards to use your back row to the best benefit, because in general, this card feels like a gamble where you have maybe like 5 Crystal Beast monsters in your spell and trap zone, and if you don't have the right amount of cards and plan out the strategy, you just essentially just waste that card for nothing, since all of the Crystal Beast monsters you control will just go to the fucking graveyard.
Rainbow Gravity. If you have 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names in your field and or in your GY, special summon 1 ultimate crystal monster from your deck or GY, ignoring its summoning conditions.
Personally, I would have made this card a quick play spell card instead of a trap card, because that way you could have activated this during your turn or your opponent's turn.
Rainbow Path. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, send 1 Crystal Beast card from your spell and trap zone to the GY, then target the attacking monster, negate the attack, then you can add 1 Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon from your deck to your hand.
This card is cool, I guess. I can see someone running 3 copies of this to protect themselves from damage and get a few steps closer to summoning Rainbow Dark Dragon, assuming you have enough Crystal Beasts in your back row to defend yourself, of course.
Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. If there are 2 or more different monster types among the level 10 or higher monsters in the field, shuffle all cards, except this one from both players' hands, fields, and Gs into the deck. Then each player draws 5 cards. You can banish this card from your GY. Add 1 Crystal Beast monster and 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. You can only apply each effect on Rainbow Bridge of Salvation once per duel.
The first effect of this card is just basically Fiber Jar with the condition of having to have level 10 or higher monsters that happen to be different types. The second effect is kind of cool of you to add a Crystal Beast monster and a field spell to your hand.
Ultimate Crystal Magic. When your Crystal Beast monster is destroyed by battle, you can send 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names from your hand, deck, and or face-up field to the GY. Special summon 1 Ultimate Crystal Fusion monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon. If a face-up Ultimate Crystal monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from your GY. Place any number of Crystal Beast monsters from your GY face up in your spell and trap zone as continuous spells.
I think this trap card is good to use in a deck. While admittedly, I would have had it to where you can activate this card when a Crystal Beast monster was destroyed by battle or card effect. I can understand why they only added to where you can only activate it when that monster is destroyed in battle. Now, onto the part if you guys might be wondering, why do I like the Crystal Beasts and their advanced counterparts to some extent? For one, I do like their main gimmick. It's fascinating that they're the only archetype in the game that they put themselves into the spell and trap zone whenever they're destroying in battle or being popped by a card effect. Well, that can be a drawback as you do need the spell and trap zone for your spells and trap cards. But if you do know what you're doing, you can manage your resources effectively to overcome this drawback. I do like that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters are not only named after some kind of animal, but also the crystal they transform into, like Amber and Amethyst. I especially love the detail they have when it comes to their respective crystal, like Tortoise having emerald crystals protrude from its back, and Amethyst Cat having, well, an amethyst gem on its neck. It's a pretty nice detail on them. I also do like that their boss monster is a giant dragon with pretty cool wing designs, and the rainbow colored gems placed on the side of its body. Also, along with seeing Rainbow Dragon's other counterparts like the 2 fusions Overdragon and Overdrive, and its dark counterpart. Admittedly, I did wish that Rainbow Dark Dragon would have demon looking wings instead of wings that look like an angel's, but whatever. Speaking of, the last designs I want to talk about are the Advanced Crystal Beasts. While they share big similarities with the regular counterparts, I do like the darker color palettes on them, along with them having eyes that look like they're more feral than ever. And that is actually pretty cool in my book. One more thing I want to talk about with the Advanced Crystal Beasts is the major drawback they have, and it's one that 2 other archetypes, Earthbound Immortals and Malefics, share. And that is, in order for them to remain on the field, there has to be a field spell, or else automatic wipeout from the field. Well, in this case, it's a specific field spell known as Advanced Dark, while the other 2 archetypes is with any field spell, but you can probably catch my point on that. If you are planning to make a deck out of these 2 archetypes, or one or the other, here are some I recommend you should use. For main deck monsters, we have Gravita Crush Dragon, Magna Slash Dragon, Hormone Lord of Striking Thunder, Dragon Queen of Tragic Endings, Summoner Monk, Karibons, X-Saber Airbellum, Psychic Commander, Chinix Ally Birdman, and what in the fuck? For extra deck monsters, Diamond Direwolf, Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, number 82 Hardline Draco, Armatile the Chaos Phantasm, Abyss Dweller, number 17 Leviathan Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, number 101 Silent Honor Arc, number 91 Thunder Spark Dragon, number 103 Ragnazero, Borosword Dragon, IP Masquerena? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
And XS Code Talker. For spell cards, Terraforming, Field Barrier, Mage Power, Foolish Burial, Toy Box, Raigeki, Smashing Ground, Emergency Provisions, Unite We Stand, and Flock Together? Really? Who the hell come up with this shit? For trap cards, Torrential Tribute, Escape from the Dark Dimension, Starlight Road, Mirror Force, and Magic Cylinder. Wait, why is there only 5 traps? Starvox, why didn't you add more trap cards here?
I was going to, but then I got sidetracked.
Doing what?
I was busy auditioning for Wildcard's new project. It started with basic line reads, until Reggio made me chase him around for some reason.
Pudding?
Pudding.
Ah, I see. For the regular Crystal Beasts, some of the other archetypes you could combine them with are Light Swans and Sacred Beasts. Well, sort of. Mostly to do with Halmon, Lord of Striking Thunder. Thus why I mentioned it in its Fusion Armor title earlier. For Advanced Crystal Beasts, I can't think of anything else other than just combining it with the regular counterparts. Well, that's about it for Crystal Beasts and Advanced Crystal Beasts. What do you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below. My next Category Cavalcade episode will be on Watts. So, until it's such time as we meet again, this is Digibox360, aka DigiGax90, signing off.